Attorneys, did you know that you can reduce employment exposure through virtual staffing? This is how smart firms scale headcount without scaling legal risk. Most managing partners think of a new hire as a salary. In reality, every domestic hire is a no to regulatory exposure, employment law, insurance, compliance, and litigation risk. Today, I want to show you the math that no one really talks about. Quick context, my name is Hugo E. I'm the founder of Legal Staff Now. We've helped over 500 law firms nationwide. We're listed on the Inc. 5000, and we've been featured in Bloomberg Law. We help law firms scale with virtual staff and without scaling their employment law exposure. Point number one, every domestic hire adds legal surface area. This is the math most managing partners never do. You're not just adding a salary, you're adding exposure. Every person on your domestic payroll is a potential plaintiff, a compliance obligation, and an insurance line item. All these areas of exposure compound with headcount. The more people you hire domestically, the more surface area you create for claims, disputes, and regulatory obligations. When you get into the specifics, every domestic hire actually adds wrongful termination exposure from day one, discrimination, harassment, and retaliation claim risks, comp, payroll tax, benefits administration, EPLI insurance premiums that scale with every head. You know this. Most law firm owners know employment law because they practice near it, but they've never turned that lens on their own firm as an employer. Point number two, the headcount thresholds that nobody tells you about. Federal employment laws don't apply to every business, but they trigger at specific employee counts, and every threshold adds compliance cost, administrative burden, and litigation risk. At 15 employees, you can be sued for discrimination. At 50, you owe FMLA and ACA. These aren't abstract regulations. These are triggers that change your entire compliance posture overnight. If you haven't experienced it yet, these are the federal thresholds that kick in as you grow. 1+ employees, FLSA, OSHA, IRCA, they apply immediately. 15 employees plus, Title VII, ADA, GINA, federal discrimination claims. 20 plus, 50 plus, it runs the gamut. Every virtual hire through a staffing partner doesn't count towards these thresholds, though. Think about what that means for your growth plan. Point number three, EPLI is the insurance tax that scales with every head. This is the coverage you carry to protect against employee lawsuits, and it gets more expensive with every person you add to domestic payroll. That's up to $150 per employee per year at the baseline. That's before a claim. Every head you add increases your premium and your risk profile. And the reality is that employment lawsuits have risen over 400% in 20 years. Half target firms under 100 employees. So you're not too small to get sued. You're exactly the size that gets sued the most often. And here are the cost curves. 5 to 10 employees, about 1,500 a year. 50 to 100, up to 6,000 a year. Over 500, $15,000 plus per year. And the average deductible is about 10,000, and you pay that before coverage kicks in. However, virtual staffing doesn't sit on your EPLI policy. They don't add to your claims risk. Point number four, defending an employment claim costs six figures, even if you win. This is the number that should keep every managing partner up at night. Wrongful termination, discrimination, harassment, even frivolous claims take 12 to 18 months to resolve, and they cost up to $125,000 in defense costs alone. You're a law firm being sued by your own employee. The optics alone are devastating. Your peers see it, your referral sources see it, your clients see it. Point number five, virtual staff restructures the employment relationship. This is the structural advantage most people miss when they think about virtually staffing. Your virtual staff through Legal Staff Now are not W-2 employees. They are employed by the staffing partner. You direct the work, the partner holds the employment relationship. That's not a loophole. That's how staffing partnerships have worked in every industry for decades. Here's what shifts to the staffing partner. Like Legal Staff Now, we manage the payroll, the benefits, the employment tax administration, comp, law compliance, HR disputes, etc. However, you still direct the work. You still manage the output, but the compliance infrastructure sits with the partner, not with you. Point number six, this is not about exploiting workers. It's about smarter architecture. I want to be very clear about this. $25,000 is a premium salary in Latin America. These professionals are well compensated. They have dedicated roles, career growth, and stability that most domestic legal staff don't get. The difference is who holds the compliance infrastructure, not the quality of the employment. The workers are treated well, they're paid well, and loyal. The difference is a business architecture decision, not an ethical one. So here's why this is ethical and sustainable. $25,000 in Latin America is a premium compensation in their local markets. These offer dedicated roles with real career growth and stability. Let's take a look at Atlas Law Center. They had zero turnover across 6 virtual staff. One of their hires that we placed, Mariana, earned a promotion within 3 months. That's investment, not exploitation. The firms doing this right are building better careers for their virtual staff than most domestic employers offer their in office team. Which brings us to point number 7, Atlas Law Center, who we just talked about. They have virtual hires and now zero employment claims. There's no EPLI increase, there's no premium on any other coverage. This is what smarter architecture looks like in practice. There's no Title VII threshold change, no FMLA trigger, no EPLI premiums. Atlas scaled without adding a single note of exposure. So yes, we could talk about the total cost of those 6 roles. It's less than their 2 failed local hires. But that comparison is nominal compared to the exposure savings. So scale the work, not the exposure. The firms that figure this out are going faster and sleeping a lot better. That's the whole message. Legal Staff Now is where you can scale your firm, not your liability. We place elite virtual legal talent from Latin America to get the work done and to make sure the liability stays off your books. If you want to see the exposure math for your firm, we'll run the numbers with you. So book a call. The link is in the description. Let's talk.